Hi there, Nicole here. How's everybody doing? Did you miss me? Can we just all agree right away that 2020 is one of the weirdest years ever? I've. Well, I have no excuse. The last time I updated was February. Last time I uploaded anything. And we're now in September. I did record a couple of videos in between, towards the end, in July and August, but I haven't even edited those yet. I will get to it, I promise. I've just been in a really weird headspace this whole time. Well, let me just run a couple of things by you. First of all, of course, Corona happened. You know that. In the beginning, it was really weird. It was really scary because nobody knew exactly what we were dealing with. Plus, I do have underlying conditions. That means I have asthma, which is not good if you have potential lung problems coming at you. Plus, I have rheumatoid arthritis, which has to do a little bit with your immune system, which is also not a good thing to have problems with. Sorry if you hear my dogs in the background. I think somebody's coming. Must be my husband, because this high-pitched barking. Either my husband or the neighbor's dog is out. But, so I was honestly really worried about my health condition because, and I'm overweight, you know that. And so I wasn't sure how I would deal with it if I were to get sick. So I was actually really, really terrified to get sick in the beginning. I still don't want to get sick, don't get me wrong. But I was just extremely terrified in the beginning because nobody knew what was going on. And I still had to go to work for the beginning of it until they finally shut down our office for 2 months straight almost, and I started working from home. So luckily I could still work just from home, and but it was still a very bizarre feeling for me because it was so weird. Like, do you remember the first time you go into a Walmart or any other big store and there's no toilet paper or no canned soup or no canned anything, no milk, no eggs? It felt really like a huge catastrophe. I mean, yes, it is a catastrophe. It's a pandemic, but it felt like the end of the world there for a moment. And so that the whole fear over, of course, my safety and the safety of everybody I know, plus the visual I get trying to go to the store and then not even being able to find masks or hand sanitizers, and my daughter's freaking out and she's trying to talk to me about it. And wait, Leo is about to come through. Okay, Leo. Okay, be a good boy, sit down. All right. That's him getting comfortable. Okay, grounding and yawning. I think we're good. Okay, so I'm trying to in my mind go back to the whole thing that happened. So first, all the empty shelves, that was scary. Me being worried about my health was scary. Dear Lord Leo, because I didn't know yet what exactly was going on. Then obviously I was worried about my kids. My son at this point, my middle child, my son, he at this point was still in Kuwait. He was supposed to come home the end of March. Now we didn't know if that was gonna happen or not, because then the travel ban started going, and then the military started having travel bans for themselves, like no inter-base moving around, nobody can move, nobody can change duty stations. It was a scary moment, and I didn't know if my son was safe where he was. He didn't tell me anything, of course. My daughter-in-law, she was still here in Texas because she didn't want to move to his base all by herself while he was still overseas. So she was looking forward to moving to him, and now she couldn't go anywhere because there was travel restrictions left and right. He wasn't even in the country, and it was just one thing after another. And then what happened next? Yeah, then in this whole time, I have to say I've got this whole feeling of gloom the entire time. I don't know if I was depressed or not. I guess I was. I didn't sleep well. I didn't want to do anything. I just felt really weird. Then riots started. We know all that problem. It's a horrible, horrible thing, and it I don't even know what to say about it. I don't want to start any kind of political discussions. I don't want to start any race wars. Let's just say we all know that was a bad thing that happened. That we all know that the George Floyd killing was a killing, and whoever is responsible for it, no matter what race anybody in this situation has, whoever's responsible needs to be punished. That's all I'm going to say about that. Anywho's, then the riots started. And we were, being in a big city, Dallas, we saw smashed windows. Like when I had to drive to work, because at this point we started opening part-time, and I had to drive to work a couple of times. It was really scary for me trying to drive downtown and then trying to get out of the city quickly enough before riots started again. You know what I mean? Dallas wasn't horrible, but it was still scary. I've never been surrounded by anything like that. And then what else happened? Oh my God, so much happened. Then travel restrictions. Well, then in the meantime, my son finally came back, delayed, but he was back stateside. Then I was worried because he's in California, so I was worried, is he safe there? Did he just get to a worse area? And then travel restrictions were lifted, so I helped my daughter-in-law move there, and it was a terrifying travel, a terrifying drive, because we drove there in her vehicle, loaded up with everything she thought she needed to have with her, and we pretty much drove straight through. We stopped in Albuquerque with a friend of hers. We felt safer with her friend than in a hotel or around other people, and then we drove straight through to see my son. And we brought our own food and everything with us, so all we had to do is stop to pee and get gas every now and then, with as little people interaction as possible. Then once we were there, of course, at this point California was in full. Oops, that dog. That dog. So once we were there in California, everybody had to wear masks everywhere at this point, which I'm fine with. I would rather protect myself even if I'm overly protective. We went to the store once or twice because we had to buy groceries, and then we bought a couple of essentials like toilet brushes, etc. And other than that, we spent basically 5 days, almost 4 days, just cooped up in the apartment. So close to the beach, and we didn't go because didn't want to go. I was afraid. And then on the way home, I had to fly back. So up to the day I was flying back, I was really worried about it, and I asked my husband, shouldn't I go ahead and just get a rental car and drive back? But then he said, like, well, then you're driving back 2 days all by yourself. That's maybe more dangerous because you might get too tired, run off the road. So I was like, you know what? I guess I'll fly. Or actually, my intentions were to go to the airport, see how crowded it was going to be, and if I didn't feel safe, I was gonna go get a rental car right there and then just let my ticket go away. I didn't care. It was a very cheap ticket for like $80 or $90, and I was just gonna get a rental car there if I decided it wasn't safe. The good thing is we flew with Southwest Airlines. They kept the middle seats open, so nobody could sit in the middle seats unless you were a family and you wanted to sit together, obviously. But everybody else had to be either aisle or window seat, and it was probably the quietest flight I've ever been on. Everybody just kind of stayed to themselves, had their masks on. I felt pretty safe during the flight, I have to say. And when I landed in Dallas, oh my God. Imagine, I had just spent 5 days in California where everybody you see anywhere has a mask on. And then I land in Dallas, and like 75% I'm not wearing a mask. That made me so nervous for a moment. And yes, I know I may be overreacting, but you know what? I have some problems, health problems, and I did not want to take risks. I mean, you gotta understand me too. And I'll tell you, if somebody later tells me, oh, it's all a hoax, we didn't need it, well, I still feel better that I protected myself during the time that I thought I needed protecting. So anyways, my daughter picked me up from the airport, so I didn't have to go in an Uber or a taxi or a bus, and so that was that. But that was pretty stressful for me, the whole travel thing. And then afterwards, of course, I was worried if I caught anything. Did my 2 weeks quarantine at home, and then when that was clear, I went back to work. Then my last cat, the Queen, the one who usually lays up there, she passed away. And we brought it to the vet. We had her cremated. I have a box over there with her ashes. And then after the cat was cremated, I went to meet with my daughter to let her know. Well, she knew, but I met with her afterwards just to talk. And we didn't think anything wrong at that point, but at that point, her fiance was able to go back to work, which was a bar. And she told me that the night before he came home not feeling well. And we both had our masks on, my daughter and I. And we talked, we kept a distance a little bit because she says, let's stay a little bit further apart just because I don't know, he didn't feel good. I was like, okay, good. But, you know, there's other diseases. It doesn't always have to be corona. So I wasn't too worried at that point. And I did hug her before we left, but, you know, we had our masks on, faces turned away from each other. And then the next day, she called me and said if we could go grocery shopping because she wanted to make sure she stocked up with things in case they had to quarantine. And I did go shopping with them at this point because they had been out of a job for about 2 months at that point. Well, my daughter still had somewhat a job. He did not. So I did go shopping with them, and I would pay every now and then when I was faster than her. So we went shopping and with masks. No. I take that back. She gave me a list. I went shopping for them. I dropped it off in front of her door. And then when she came out, we talked for a moment. And then she had a mask on, I had my mask on. Then I go home, and the next day, she's telling me they are now both sick and they're getting tested. So at this point, I'm starting to get a little worried again. And a couple of days after that, she confirmed that they both tested positive for the coronavirus. I, yeah, had a little freak out moment. I mean, of course, I was worried about her already. I called her every day. I texted her every day. Like, I texted her first. If she didn't call me right away, I called her just to check in on her. And they did get quite sick. They had sore throats. They had fever. They felt really drained of all energy, really. But that was about it. But they're young. I'm not young, and I have pre-existing conditions. So I was really worried for a while. I did take the test as soon as she told me that they were positive. I made an appointment to get my own test done. I told them at work. They said, okay, do not come in. Stay home. I'm like, fine. I was working from home anyways. It didn't matter. I could work either at home or at work. So I did my test. And then, literally, it took 10 days for me to get my results. Can you imagine? Sitting at home for 10 days just waiting. Anything that felt out of the ordinary was suddenly an alarm system. Like, at night, I'll be like, wait, is this my normal getting warmer in the evening, or am I getting hot? Am I getting a fever? You know? Or I do have allergies. When I started coughing, or my throat felt weird because I slept with my mouth open all night, I'll be like, oh no, is that the sore throat? Is this it? Is it coming? Is it happening? And I was really worried. But luckily, I did not get anything. My test result came back negative, and after that, I went back to work. Then, what else happened? I don't know. Just so many things. Oh, another thing that I also don't really want to discuss here because there's too many... Sorry. Now I have to cough. Let me drink real quick. I just had snot go down the wrong pipe. I have allergies. I really do. So another thing I wanted to just mention, but I don't really want to discuss because I know there are very opposing opinions about this thing. And I still don't know what I'm believing, what I'm not believing. But since I did spend a lot more time at home than I usually would. Now, Leo, be quiet. Leo, no. No, Leo, stop it. Move. Okay, sit. Sit. Be a good boy. Sit. He wants attention. Not right now. I'm almost done. Not right now. No. Okay, come up here. Come up here. Come. There you go. Okay. Okay. There's Leo. Did you miss Leo? And now Maddie's coming. Okay, we'll see how that works out. Anywho. Okay, there it is, my big bear. Maddie, you coming up? No? You staying down there? Okay. Alright, I'm patting her down here. Where was I? I forgot. Oh, the other thing that kind of really... that really messed with my mood is what I'm trying to say. I was trying to find the right words. I don't know what else to say. I went on several rabbit holes on YouTube. Because what are you gonna do when you're just sitting at home and you're not going anywhere and doing anything with friends? I learned a lot of things about political things, about missing children. That's what really worries me. a lot of stuff about words I'm not allowed to say on YouTube. But if any of you has not been living under a rock, you probably know what I'm talking about. It's all over the place. It's on Facebook, Twitter. You hear it everywhere now. But if you just Google missing children, Maddie, stop it. If you just Google missing children, then you should know what I'm talking about. And that's all I'm gonna say about that. That really made me very sad and very upset to learn about those things that I kind of didn't even know about before. And that killed my mood even more. And so this whole combination of things and not being able to see my friends, which is really weird because I always thought like I'm fine, I don't have to see them. We have Facebook, we can talk, we have WhatsApp, we video chats, it's fine. But I really missed seeing all my acting friends, like being on set and doing things. So when we've now slowly, with corona restrictions, started filming again, I started coming out of my funk finally. And I think now I'm ready to start uploading videos again. I already filmed some. I filmed some very recently. I filmed a ton before Corona that I never edited. I will start peppering them in, the old ones, but I will try to keep up with new ones in the meantime. So, yeah, I think I'm back. I'm trying to be back. Talking about back, one more thing before I stop. I'm already at 16 or something minutes. I did hurt my back. Today is the first day in 8 days that I am that I have my pain level low enough to not cry. It was really bad. I dislocated something in my neck up here, the C7, I believe. I didn't pay enough attention, I'm sorry. But that means that I had an inflammation which turned into a muscle spasm, or came with a muscle spasm, which then also aggravated nerves, and I pretty much, on my left side, all the way down to my fingertips, my whole upper body, down to my fingertips, was in excruciating pain. I took so many painkillers, and I tried to relax and massage and use topical numbing agents, and nothing. I mean, it felt horrible. I've had 3 chiropractor appointments already. The one this morning, he rubbed some other areas in my neck, and I think it helped a little bit. I'm still in pain, don't get me wrong, but it's way better. Like, I can't lift anything with my left hand. I can't really grab stuff right now, and when I sit up, I have to be very careful. But I'm feeling better. Ugh, this is way too long. I'm just ranting about all the health issues I have. Well, if you're still here, I'm back, I think. And I want to start uploading things again. I'll upload the newer ones first and then pepper in the older ones in between. And then, yeah, hopefully we'll get back to somewhat normal, even though the world is not yet back to normal. And, yeah, I'm glad I'm back. And I hope you didn't all run away. Thank you. Bye.